the unmasking happen? Should the unmasking be investigated? Who ordered the unmasking? Maybe Trump should just appoint a Trump dome, a Republican dome, right? Real Republican insider. The Democrats freak out. But when Barack Obama literally appointed a Democrat donor to investigate Lois Lerner for going after conservative groups, the media went, Democrats drank their warm milk and went to bed early. But all day and all night now it's Russia. And it's Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn's not even part of the administration. They're still beating this guy down. Again, no illegality. The only illegality might be how his name got on there. And Russia wasn't a problem when they were giving the Clintons money. No. They could book Bill Clinton for any speech they wanted. No problem with the Russians. James Comey tried to warn Barack Obama that potentially the Russians were trying to influence the election. Well, they thought Hillary was going to win. It was, again, one vote go to bed early. But as soon as Hillary Clinton lost that election, all of a sudden, everything was Russian. Trump and Russia. Why is it 695 Patriot 957-2874? Let's see. Jimmy, Florida, you're on the lookout majority. Hello.
How you doing? And thank you for taking my call. I just want to put in a little bit of a maybe a counterpoint, maybe with an emphasis on the need to clean up, but not really get rid of all the foreign aid that we give, because a lot of this can be very useful if done right. A good example would be giving money to Egypt under the Mubarak here. In turn, he was going ahead and holding down the Muslim Brotherhood, where after he fell, he kept giving that money instead of using it as an instrument of national power and taking it away when they took power after they told not to. He kept giving it to them, completely wasting the use of it. That's where the State Department needs to be more instrumental in probably using that funding. Similar things with the CIA and other intelligence sources. They go out and they find where the groups like ISIS are really looking for those impoverished people and buying them into taking up arms against us and our allies.
But wait a second, sir. Like I said, we have $20 trillion in debt. 20 trillion, a large chunk of it to the Chinese. The Chinese, when they extend a helping hand to a foreign nation or foreign people, get something in return. We ask for nothing. We just give away money that we're borrowing. What kind of nation, how much longer, how sustainable is it for a nation like the United States to plunge itself into debt only to give the money away to other countries that have no intention of repaying us?
Well, that's what that guy is giving is, we give them good aid. China does do it better than we do, but they're also less culture, therefore they have less threat of those people coming into their nation and basically blending in with their nation, where we don't have that luxury.
Again, we're giving away money that we're borrowing. We're giving away money that we're borrowing. We're not investing, we're giving it away. If we were borrowing money from the Chinese to open up exploration in Peru, and we're subsidizing the Peruvian economy right now, and the oil revenue is paying us back and we're paying down our debt to China, that would be a different story. But we're not doing that. Mike, Pittsburgh, you're on the lookout majority. Hello.
Hi, how you doing? I love the show. And we're not giving that money to foreign countries. That money is just a jumping off point so that it can be dispersed into banks throughout Europe. Because a few years back, the United States had the ability to look in banks like Sweden and see what Americans are putting money there. So if you're a representative of the United States of America, you can't funnel money directly into that bank. So you give it in aid, those countries then deposit that or hire European contractors who then will do something like give somebody $500,000 to give a speech. But that money is ours. It's not staying in those countries. It's being dispersed there. It's a shell company.
Well, that depends on. I mean, I'm talking about the countries that we are listed on as recipients on USAID.gov.
Yeah, they're not keeping that money. We're giving the money to we give the money to Nigeria. They really don't have a government. That government kicks that money back out.
Right, but China has drilling rights in Mozambique. Okay, so they're going into Africa and they're building infrastructure for these African countries and getting paid in drilling rights.
Well, correct. The people in America don't care. They're just the mafia will steal $1 million to make $1,000. They don't care because they're never going to give that $1 million back. And that's what our government's doing. They don't care if they lose money. That's why they don't ask for anything. They're just skimming their share. So whether we get something in return or not is irrelevant. They don't care. They just want their skin.
Well, again, we have $20 trillion in debt, and we are giving away money that we don't have. We are literally giving away money we don't have and having no source to repay it. If I would look, and I have faith in Rex Tillerson, I would love Rex Tillerson to announce that we are going to shift from foreign aid to foreign loans based on receiving oil drilling rights in these countries. And I'd like to see him secure those contracts. Pete, Pennsylvania, you're the local majority. Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to say about how James Cameron and I think it was Hillary Clinton also, they found out that they had an account in Panama a couple years ago. Actually, I think I heard it on your program. And with our debt, isn't that turning us into slavery, being slavery?
Every child in America, every child in America who will not go on to be a welfare recipient in their own life will be born with tax debt burden.
Yes, and isn't that a form of slavery?
Yes, it's called debt slavery.
Yeah, and I don't know why no one's complaining about it or doing anything about it but you. You know, but no one's calling their congressman or anything. It's like it just blows my mind.
Because most of this stuff is just, I mean, again, when I look at this fight between Trump and the Freedom Caucus, the establishment, they don't even pay attention to this stuff. These budgets just keep on growing. The spending just keeps on growing. The giving away, when you've got American citizens out of work, when you've got American citizens struggling to pay the bills, when you've got veterans who are homeless and dying on waiting lists, when you've got impoverished children in inner cities who aren't getting a good education or enough to eat, you don't give away money to third world countries that you don't have. You just don't do it.
Like China comes back and says, okay, give us Oklahoma. Could that be a possibility?
They would want drilling rights. Thank you for the call. You don't give away your buckets of water when your house is on fire. Let's see, Jody, Texas, you're the local majority. Hello.
Hey, Andrew, go Gators.
Thank you, sir. Never went to one game, though.
Well, my daughter graduated from there last year, so I've talked to you several times. You do a great job. I freaking love listening to your radio station. I'm glad you're drinking Super Beats because you are rolling today.
Thank you.
I just look at it from the vantage point that, you know, China's got all their government-run businesses. They're going in, they're taking what they want. We, however, are giving money away that's being used by these globally large corporations, and they're the ones receiving all of that money, in turn buying back the politicians, whether in the U.S. or in Europe, and using our money right back against us. And that's where it goes. And I hope Donald Trump would be willing to go to zero-based budgeting, fund the Defense Department, fund the debt interest that we owe, and everybody else, you have to justify your existence. And until we get to that point right there, we are going to continue slipping, and unfortunately, your young son and my 4-year-old grandson are on the hook for a tremendous amount of debt. And I absolutely do not think the Chinese would want Oklahoma. They'd probably want Florida instead.
Well, if you feel like doing some research one of these days, and I'll make a topic out of this, we give foreign aid to Uganda. Uganda takes foreign aid from China and then gave